Do you remember Gary and Gerald from the last episode? If you haven't watched that episode, click the notification on your screen to watch it. Let's continue. Gary has now learned his lesson and worked on the communication gap between his parents and himself. As schoolwork kept demanding lots of attention and time, Gerald, Gary's brother, got so busy that he couldn't keep up with his usual lifestyle of checking on his parents.
His dad noticed and called to check on his boy. Gerald complained academic work was taking much of his time.
And most times when he got back home late at night, he was always too tired to call. His dad, being an understanding man, acknowledged the stress from academics, but encouraged his son to try to stay in touch.
Just a little adjustment will help, he said.
Gerald managed to say a brief thank you before hanging up to face his work. Gary noticed the change in his brother's attitude and tried to talk to him about it, but he won't listen. Soon, Gerald began to notice his weight loss. He hasn't been feeding well because he didn't have foodstuffs and didn't care to reach out to his parents. He got angry. I wonder why Dad won't allow us work like other young men do. He insists we focus on our studies and be a good representative of the family. But he can't even send foodstuffs in times like this, Gerald blurted. Gary, who was listening to him, responded that he was to be blamed for the things he was facing. Dad had made provisions for everything we needed before traveling out of town 2 days ago. He left a new phone number for us to reach him to. I guess you didn't pick up his call or check his message. It contained details of how to get all we need before he comes back.
At this point, Gerald picked up his phone to check. To his surprise, he had ignored his dad's call as well as the message, hence his lack.
Same with us today. Leaving God, who is our source, will only starve us and deprive us of his bountiful provisions. Never get too busy to communicate with God. Never ignore his messages or brush them aside.
What lessons do you learn from this story? Drop them in the comments section below.